Hi, boys and girls. We're working our way through the animal kingdom chart, and today I'm going to go back over some mollusks. I did a short video on mollusks, and today we're just going to talk about them more, mostly because of all the invertebrates, these are my favorites. Now, I know that I told you I had a favorite yesterday. Can I have two favorites? My favorite microscopic invertebrate is a rotifer, but my favorite class of invertebrates are mollusks. I love them because they are so different. There's so many different kinds of mollusks. Now, the word mollusk means, now these are not mollusks, these are worms, of course. We're going to talk about those tomorrow. But mollusks means soft-bodied. Mollusks have a soft body and in most species a hard protective shell. A fold of tissue called the mantle produces the shell and covers the internal organs. The head is attached to a muscular foot that is used for movement. Most mollusks have a rasping tongue called a radula, say it, radula, that scrapes food from surfaces. Mollusks have a heart, and most breathe through gills. So now remember, on this chart, each one of these animals is not the only snail, right? This is not the only shell. Sometimes I say to my younger students that this is like the line leader for the whole class of scallops, the whole class of shells. And this is the line leader for the whole group of cephalopods that would live behind him. So all the bivalves are here, all the cephalopods are here. And so remember, don't think of them as these are the only mollusks. But I want to read to you about these mollusks as we get started. This is called the chitin. Okay? Chitins live in the sea. They have 8 shell plates that cover and protect them. Their diet is mainly algae, which they scrape off rocks with their radula. The radulas of some chitins have teeth that are hardened by a cap of a mineral called magnetite. So they have very, very hard teeth, so they go along the ground and they scrape and they scrape. Lots of different kinds of chitins now. Land snails live in moist places. Snails' bodies fold in half during their development so that the bottom is above the head. Instead of gills, land snails have an opening between their shell and the body that acts like a lung. Now we learned about that the snail group is a part of the group called the what? Do you remember? It means foothead. I'm sorry, it means, these are the footheads. These are the stomach foots. Stomach foots. Do you remember what the stomach foots were? Gastropods. Now the nudibranch is like a slug or a snail that lives in the ocean. They're super colorful. Nudibranchs or sea slugs are relatives of snails. Nudibranch means naked gills. The gills are the branching structures on the animal's back, so all those things on the back. Nudibranchs have bright colors, warning that they're not good to eat. They secrete substances that repel predators. I want to show you another picture, and I think I showed you this on a previous video, but that is a nudibranch. I just want you to take a good look at it. Look at those orange gills. Isn't that fantastic? They come in lots and lots of different colors. All right, now another group of mollusks are the bivalves. All these different kinds of creatures. Sea scallops are the only bivalves that can swim. If they feel threatened, they clap the 2 halves of their shell shut. They pump water in and out and swim away. They have many eyes that help them detect the approach of their predators. Do you know who their predator is? Who eats a sea scallop? Who eats a sea scallop? This guy right here. Bum, bum, bum. He's the predator. He's the prey. He's the lion. He's the zebra in the ocean. And then the last group that we have in the mollusks are the really smart ones. And what are they called? Do you remember the name for them? It means head foot. Cephalopod. Cephalopod. Now I have some pictures I want to show you about cephalopods and bivalves and gastropods. So let's look over here. So here at first we have some bivalves. Here's the scallop that we were just talking about. Different kinds of, now you've probably seen these if you've studied seashells. You've looked at these kinds of bivalves. What makes it a bivalve? Has two shells that have a hinge, right? So that's one of the groups of mollusks. Now we've moved to the gastropods, stomach foots. Now that kind of makes sense, right? Because you could picture this like almost like a snail. So as you go to the beach this summer and you find two different kinds of shells, I want you to notice, I want you to say to yourself, is this a bivalve? Or is this shell from a gastropod? You should be able to tell the difference. Okay? What are these? Do you know? Those are gastropods as well. Hoo-hoo, here we go. The famous sea slugs. Take a minute and look at those. Look at that guy. Wow. And this one. That big red one. It's called the Spanish dancer. How about him? It's just called Anna's sea slug. I guess Anna was the first one to find it in the ocean and she got to name it. This one's called the elegant sea slug. The varicose sea slug. The spotted sea hare. Oh, look at this. This is called the common sea angel. The black margined sea slug. And the one we looked at first is called the opalescent sea slug. So cool. Now we're still at mollusks, looking at different kinds of snails. Now, of course, these are land snails. They weren't really pretty. Some of the names. Ash gray slug. Well, I guess so. And now we're looking at the smart ones, the cephalopods, the headfoots. Now this is, we talked about this when I talked about the nautilus. If you have a chance to find him, a video of him swimming, it's worth seeing. And there's the cuttlefish, and another cuttlefish, and the Australian giant cuttlefish. Look at this little guy. Kind of cute. Barry's bobtail squid. Look at all those little baby squids. This one is called the flamboyant cuttlefish. If you don't know what flamboyant means, you can look it up. It means very bright and full of festivity, if something is flamboyant. Woo! That's a big picture. The common octopus, much bigger than what we were looking at before. And I think now we have the true octopus. The blue ringed octopus. Wow, that would be something to draw. Look at these. This is called the Pacific long-armed octopus, the vampire squid, the Dumbo octopus, the Caribbean reef octopus. the North Pacific giant octopus, and the mimic octopus. This animal can change shape so it looks like other ocean creatures. So it doesn't even look like an octopus anymore. It can look like a sponge or a jellyfish. And then here are the chitons. We learned about those. Those are mollusks. Here's a group we hadn't studied. All right. So all of those beautiful mollusks. And I'm going to sign off. And the next time we get together, we're going to learn about annelids, which are the earthworms that you know about, and arthropods, which are things that have jointed legs, like crabs and spiders. Okay, bye.